So I remember a few years ago when my son was 4 years old, and we're standing in the pediatrician's office and waiting for test results because he's been sick now 5 times in 1 year. Doctor comes back in and says, "Your son has strep throat again. Here's your antibiotics, and now we need to start talking about something a little more aggressive so he doesn't keep getting sick." And goes on to explain to me how taking out his tonsils, taking out his adenoids can be helpful. And I just look at him and I say, no, those are important for your immune system, right? We are not going to remove my son's tonsils and adenoids. There has to be a better way, right? Then a little bit of time later, my daughter, who was 8 at the time, she starts getting anxiety, right? And she gets stomach issues when she gets very anxious. So we take her to a therapist, and then they want to start her on some sort of anti-anxiety medicine, which, I'm a doctor, right? So medicine has a place, right? Surgery has a place, but you have to, first of all, be sure that there's nothing else you can do before you go down that route, okay? A medicine for a chronic problem that you're going to be on forever, that is not a good solution to me. So again, I say no. And so start looking for solutions to this problem, and found out that, you know what? There are answers that are natural to both of these problems. And we started implementing those, and the results have been absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I'm a working mom of two, and actually I'm no different than any of you. I have suffered from medical issues my entire life, allergies as well as IBS. I thought it was normal. It wasn't until I developed some other issue such as neck pain and changed what I put in my body that I made a huge connection. I've spent the past 27 years practicing medicine as a PA, 18 years in internal medicine, and the last 9 in pain management. So I knew how to treat my problem and my pain. I tried all the options, but I still hurt, and I still see patients that we try things on, and there's great medicines and great treatments for them, but I still hurt, and I know they still hurt. But when I started to change what I ate, not only did my pain improve, but my allergies as well as the IBS that I had suffered with for my entire life improved. So I didn't know that feeding goldfish and crackers and Oreos and Cheetos was poking holes in my kid's gut. Tons of people suffer with GI issues, and they think it's normal. Constipation, diarrhea, reflux, IBS. I see these patients every day, and I didn't realize that the food we can actually consume can inflame our GI tract. I do know that if one area of the body is inflamed, this can cause a widespread inflammation throughout. And all of this can actually decrease our immune system and make us more susceptible to other issues. Leaky gut allows bacteria metabolites to cross the gut border, and it impacts the neurodevelopment of our kids and even ourselves. Overgrowth of bad bacteria actually alters our gut microbiome, which causes everything to leak out. It increases the permeability. And so no wonder our whole entire body's inflamed. And that's where we get sick.
Yeah, Lori, I didn't know, being in the fitness industry for 20 years, realizing, thinking that I was doing the right things. And all of a sudden, I came across leaky gut and was like, wow, I have all these symptoms. I'm every time I eat and my stomach gets bloated, and certain foods triggered it. I was not aware of this, even being in the fitness industry for 20 years. I myself am a mother of 4, and really my path down this holistic health came with my 3rd child, who was chronically getting ear infections. We went through 2 sets of tubes, and the antibiotics that we were giving him just were not relieving those symptoms, and which in turn led to speech delay and speech therapy for years because he just was not hearing correctly. And then my fourth child had a severe peanut allergy where, we would have to have an EpiPen, and I was stressed out at all times, whether she was in daycare or at school, that she would come into contact with the peanuts, and were we going to get that EpiPen to her in time? She also suffered from eczema as a baby, started as a baby, and it was so severe, guys. She used to scratch and she used to bleed, and everything we were doing that the doctors were telling us to do, slathering cream, steroids, internal antibiotics, internal meds to try to relieve that eczema, it wasn't relieving the eczema. So what that led me to do is to do a ton of research. And I know, as a mother, mothers do more research than the FBI. It's been said, because when your child is suffering, that's what you want to help that child, and nothing is going to get in the way of helping your child. So as you can see, you've got three amazingly brilliant women here. You've got two doctors, a neurosurgeon. Gosh, guys, it doesn't get much, brainier than that. She's got her hands in somebody's brain operating, and a neuroscientist, and you cannot beat Lori's experience of 27 years. She sees 22 patients, guys, before lunchtime. So her experience in pain meds and internal medicine is just unreal. And so we are just like you. We were frustrated. We were sick and tired of trying things or listening, and nothing was working. And so we just went down that rabbit hole, and we put our head down, and we started doing the research, and we started finding out things that we are not told. We were not told this. They didn't even learn it in medical school, guys. And so there's a lot of information out there, and we are here to share with you guys what information that we have learned to save you the time. Because just like you guys, we are busy, we are moms, we are working moms, we own multiple businesses. So we understand that maybe you don't have the time to dive into this and do the research. Let us do it for you. Before we get started, I want you guys to think, how many of you guys out there are working parents? How many of you guys out there, it gets to 8:00 at night and you're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to make for dinner? Right? We've all done that. We've all gotten busy, and we've all been forced to go through a drive-through at a given time. And don't beat yourself up for that, okay? Because we are just like you. Now, we have found that one of the things that we want to go over with you guys, we're gonna give you 3 things to take away today, okay? And the first thing is that something that we can't avoid, right? You can't avoid going through a drive-through at 8:00 at night because your kids, right, haven't been fed. So, but one other thing that you can't avoid is you can't avoid toxins. We have so much toxins in our environment that it is scary. The last time I looked it up, that we come in contact with over 700,000 toxins on a daily basis. Now, in small, teeny little amounts, those toxins are not harmful. They say they're not harmful. But then when you start stacking them on top of each other and they get stuck in your body, then they start messing things up. Toxins are endocrine disruptors, so they mess with your hormones. Now, what do your hormones do? Your hormones tell the systems of your body how to operate and how to flow in a natural way. And so when they get disrupted, or when they get cut off, or where they're acting wacky, then the systems of your body start acting wacky. So you have to have a daily strategy to get rid of those toxins. Now, we have a little trick that we use. We have a little bottle, a little tincture that we take, a dropper full at night before we go to bed, and that cleanses out our 7 channels of elimination. You have to make sure you can get those toxins out of your body. We also have multiple tricks for getting your children detoxed on a daily basis. And I'm talking on a daily basis. I'm not saying do a cleanse or a detox once a year or twice a year and just concentrating on your GI tract. You've got to concentrate on your blood and your brain and your kidneys and your lymph system. You've got to concentrate on every single thing. So we've got strategies for you to detox your children as well.
So I'm going to piggyback on that. Poor gut health actually is a result of stress, taking over-the-counter anti-inflammatories, sugar in our foods, and nutritional deficiency, as well as alcohol if you intake alcohol. Our standard American diet is not the best. It's low in fiber, it's high in sugar content, and it has a lot of saturated fat in it. This, along with stress, disrupts the balance of our gut. And these toxins, which, they're partially digested foods, there's good and bad bacteria, actually penetrates the tissues and triggers inflammation in our gut flora. And all of this leads to problems of the GI tract and beyond. So if you have leaky gut, it extends out to your body. So research suggests that this inflammation has a huge role in the development of chronic disease. Now, I see chronic disease every day. If you have, for example, diabetes, that's a chronic disease. If you have hypertension, that's a chronic disease. If you have high cholesterol, that's a chronic disease. So what if you have all three? So there's many people out there, and this has become the norm. I mean, there's 40-year-olds that are on multiple medications. We used to see people, once they hit 50 and 60, they would get these multiple medical problems. But now we see it a lot younger. I mean, I know teenagers that have high blood pressure. That's kind of crazy, but I do. So, these toxins lead to different conditions, like I said, diabetes, lupus, allergies, anxiety, obesity, as well as cardiac dysfunction. Coronary artery disease is the leading cause of death in the U.S. right now. It is. So, all of this makes sense. And if you do the research and understand the process, there's no reason why we shouldn't detoxify our bodies. I'm going to give you an example of a client. We have, let's call her Julie. She's 70 years old. She's had IBS her entire life, like me, 2 bowel movements a week. And, that was her norm. She knew that if she ate certain foods or ate at a new restaurant, that she would pay for it later and be in the bathroom and with stomach cramps and, just felt horrible. And, that's really common. So after adapting this new philosophy, she had no more belly pain, no more cramping. She could eat out at different restaurants without having any issues. She had a bowel movement every day and was like, what is this? Is this normal? So once you remove the toxins and learn how to build your body back up, it can function properly as well as eliminate properly. And, that might be a little small example, but let me tell you, it can change someone's life and make a huge difference. And, not only does it make a difference, but they feel better. Who wants to feel better?
That's awesome, Lori. I picked up a little bit on what you were saying too about it's not just toxins in our foods and environments, right? But those medicines have toxins in them, a lot of the way that they're made. So when you are taking something to help one condition, then it's producing toxins in your body. And that's why you need to keep taking all these other medicines, right? You hear that joke of, well, I'm having trouble sleeping, so I'm taking this medicine. Well, that gives me stomach upset. So, I got to take this medicine, and it goes on. And there is a better way. One thing I also want to pick up on that you said is you talked about stress. We've got all these external toxins, but guess what? Did you know that when you are stressed, your body actually produces toxins all by itself? You don't need to help it at all, just stress itself. And it works in particular in the brain. So when you are stressed, one of the things that happens a lot, at least to me, so I wonder if it happens to you, is I have trouble sleeping. Has anybody had that issue when you're very stressed and your brain is kind of going a mile a minute and you can't get sleep, or you wake up in the middle of the night and you think, oh my gosh, what about this thing? Well, guess what your brain is doing while you are sleeping? Your brain actually has a street sweeper in it and is removing toxins from your brain while you're sleeping. So guess what happens when you don't sleep? Those toxins stay in there. That causes all kinds of problems. Particularly, it can cause depression. It can cause anxiety. All right. So you're stressed, you can't sleep. And then now you have more toxins in your brain. So now you're even more anxious, and it turns into this vicious cycle. But when you do things like pay attention to detoxifying your body every single day from both the external toxins and the internal toxins, like we do, every one of us has a detoxification plan for every single day, then you break that cycle. And that's what we're here to show you, is how we can break that cycle. Because these toxins, particularly nowadays, what else is it doing? It's affecting your immune system, right? It's weakening your immune system. Lori talked a lot about the gut. Gut and immune, very, very tied together, right? So these toxins floating around in leaky gut, that causes a problem. Who wants a lower immunity right now? I don't. I want my immune system as strong as possible. So through some very small, simple changes, you can actually help to eliminate both the external and the internal toxins. And that's something that we do for ourselves, for our children, and help our clients with every single day.
Absolutely, guys. You know what? Our job and our mission is really to share our knowledge with you, because we were right where you are right now. And you're bombarded with information. You don't know what source to believe, what is right, what is not. And we've taken years going through this and actually living it. So everything that we recommend for you to do, we actually have done already. And some things that we have tried, that didn't work for us. So guess what? We're not passing on that knowledge. We're just passing on the knowledge that has worked for us and worked for the hundreds, if not between the three of us, there's probably thousands of people across the world that we have coached and helped to learn this holistic lifestyle. And it doesn't happen overnight, right? But the number one key thing is that you have to have a detox strategy. And so what you'll learn over the next, few weeks in our first season of our podcast is that you guys will learn and hear some stories of how other people incorporated this detox. We follow a philosophy of cleanse, balance, and build. So we're touching on the cleanse detox part today and introducing that to you. And over the next couple of episodes and this season, we're really going to focus on that daily detox strategy, how you can start incorporating that into your life. And it's not something that is drastic. You take little baby steps, and we will coach you through making that transition into a holistic lifestyle step by step over time. Well, thank you guys for tuning in today. We are excited to continue this series on detox and teaching you how to have a strategy to detox your family on a daily basis. Tune in for the next couple of weeks as we have others that we have worked with that have been successful at detoxing themselves and their families and turning around some major health issues that they have had and completely transitioning their lifestyle into a holistic lifestyle. If you want some more information, please look us up at www.lifestylewellnessgroup.com. On there is access to a ton more information. There's also links where you can set up appointments with each of us. We would be happy to jump on a Zoom with you, do a health history, and give you some practical things and suggestions to help with your daily detox strategy. You guys have a great day.